Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about something that affects all of us at one point or another: failure. But here's the truth: failure is not something to dread, it's something to embrace. It's not the end of the road, it's simply a part of the journey. In fact, some of the greatest successes come from people who failed before they succeeded. So how do you bounce back after failure? Let me share with you 5 powerful rules for turning failure into your greatest opportunity. Rule number 1, accept it. First, you must accept that failure is inevitable. No one is immune to it, and it's not a reflection of your worth. It's simply a part of life, a stepping stone on the path to success. When you accept failure, you free yourself from fear. You stop letting it control you. Instead of avoiding failure, you become someone who sees it for what it truly is: a lesson. Rule number 2, shift your mindset. When you experience failure, your mindset is everything. You can either let failure define you, or you can let it refine you. The people who bounce back the fastest are those who understand that failure is a temporary setback, not a permanent state. Change your perspective. Don't think of it as falling short, but rather as an opportunity to adjust your course and try again. Rule number 3, learn from your mistakes. Every failure contains a lesson, and your job is to find it. What went wrong? What could you have done differently? This isn't about beating yourself up, it's about growing. Think of failure as a teacher, showing you what you need to do to improve, to get better, and to be stronger. In every mistake, there is wisdom that can propel you forward. Rule number 4, be kind to yourself. When you fail, it's easy to be harsh on yourself. But this is the time when you need your own love and support the most. Remember that failure is not a reflection of who you are, but of the circumstances or the choices made at a particular time. Treat yourself with the same compassion you would extend to someone you care about deeply. Give yourself grace to learn, to grow, and to heal. Rule number 5, keep going. This is the most important rule of all. Don't give up. Even if your steps are small, continue moving forward. Failure can knock you down, but it's how you get back up that matters. You don't need to have it all figured out right away, but take action. No matter how many times you fail, as long as you keep trying, you are progressing towards success. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not fear failure. Let's see it as a partner on our journey. When we embrace these 5 rules: acceptance, mindset shift, learning from mistakes, self-compassion, and perseverance, we give ourselves the power to bounce back stronger than ever. So the next time you face failure, remember it's just another step toward your greatest success. Keep going, keep believing, and most importantly, keep learning. Failure is often perceived as something to be avoided at all costs, yet the truth is that it is an inevitable part of life. It's something we all experience, no matter our age, background, or aspirations. We fail in our careers, relationships, health goals, and countless other areas. However, what we often fail to recognize is that failure is not something to fear, but something to accept and embrace. When you accept failure, you free yourself from the pressure of perfection. The fear of failure is one of the greatest obstacles to progress, because it can paralyze you, preventing you from taking risks, trying new things, or pushing beyond your comfort zone. But when you accept that failure is a natural and necessary part of life, you begin to see it differently. It's no longer a roadblock that stops you in your tracks, but a momentary detour that can guide you toward growth and success. Accepting failure means letting go of the unrealistic expectations we often place on ourselves. We live in a world where success is celebrated and failure is hidden away. Social media in particular has created a narrative where only success stories are shared and the struggles behind the scenes are ignored. As a result, many of us grow up with the false belief that failure is something to be ashamed of. This mindset can hold us back from reaching our true potential. However, when you accept that failure is a part of life's journey, you stop internalizing it as something personal. It doesn't define you, it's simply an event. You are not a failure, you are someone who has encountered a setback that is temporary and surmountable. One of the most profound things you can do for yourself is to accept failure not as a negative outcome, but as a teaching tool. It's in these moments of failure that you are given the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to build the resilience that will serve you in the future. Every time you fall short, you're presented with an opportunity to reflect and adjust your approach. Without failure, you would never know what doesn't work. And more importantly, you would never discover the strength and determination within yourself to keep going. There's also a certain level of freedom that comes with accepting failure. When you stop fearing it, you stop avoiding the risks that are necessary for growth. Think of all the people who achieved great things in history, whether in science, business, or the arts. They were not immune to failure. In fact, many of them faced numerous setbacks before finally finding success. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school team. Walt Disney was told he lacked creativity and was fired from a newspaper job. These people didn't let failure define them, they accepted it, learned from it, and kept moving forward. By accepting failure, you give yourself permission to try again. You realize that failure does not have to be the end of your story, it is just a chapter. It is a moment in time that will pass, and if you choose to, you can move forward wiser and more determined than before. The key to success is not the avoidance of failure, but the ability to bounce back from it with more strength and wisdom than you had before. In this process of acceptance, it's essential to also remember that failure is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to your willingness to try. Many people never fail because they never try. They live in a bubble of safety, avoiding risks and challenges that could lead to failure. However, those who dare to push boundaries, try new things, and pursue their dreams will inevitably face failure. And it is in those moments that true growth happens. So by accepting failure, you are embracing life in its fullest form, complete with its ups and downs, and you are giving yourself the opportunity to thrive in ways you never imagined possible. Ultimately, failure is not the enemy. It's not something to be feared, hidden from, or avoided. It is something to be accepted, understood, and used as a catalyst for transformation. When you accept failure, you open the door to growth, resilience, and the possibility of achieving things that you once thought were impossible. The sooner you make peace with failure, the sooner you can rise from it stronger, wiser, and ready to face the next challenge that comes your way. Shifting your mindset after experiencing failure is one of the most crucial steps in bouncing back. It's easy to fall into a negative mindset when things don't go as planned, especially when you've invested so much time, energy, and hope into a particular outcome. However, if you want to rise from failure and keep moving forward, you need to understand that your mindset is your greatest ally or your worst enemy. The way you perceive failure, whether as a setback or an opportunity, determines how you respond to it and how you grow from it. A shift in mindset begins with the understanding that failure is not a reflection of your worth or abilities. Too often, people internalize failure, believing that because something didn't work out, it means they are not good enough or capable of succeeding. This negative thinking leads to self-doubt, a loss of confidence, and a belief that the next attempt will fail as well. This cycle of negativity can trap you in a state of inaction, leaving you paralyzed by fear. The first step in shifting your mindset is to separate yourself from your failures. Acknowledge that failure is an event, not an identity. You are not a failure just because something didn't go right. The essence of who you are, your character, your potential, your worth remains intact. Once you realize that failure does not define you, you can begin to embrace the concept that failure is an essential part of growth. It's not the opposite of success, but rather a part of the process. If you look at the most successful individuals, they often failed more times than most of us would dare to try. They faced rejection, made mistakes, and encountered setbacks, yet they continued. Why? Because they adopted a mindset that saw failure as a valuable learning experience rather than a defeat. They understood that each failure taught them something, whether it was about their strategy, their approach, or even about themselves. To truly shift your mindset, you must also start seeing challenges as opportunities. A growth-oriented mindset is one that thrives on challenges and welcomes them as opportunities to improve. When you face adversity, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" Start asking, what can I learn from this? How can this help me become better? The moment you reframe your thinking, you stop feeling victimized by the situation and start feeling empowered. You begin to see that obstacles are not barriers, but stepping stones that can lead you to new insights, skills, and ideas. Another key element in shifting your mindset is the idea of resilience. Failure isn't easy, and it's often painful. However, resilient people understand that setbacks are not permanent, and that every failure is an opportunity to bounce back stronger. Resilience is built when you refuse to let failure be the end of the story. It's the ability to face challenges head on, learn from them, and continue moving forward. Building resilience requires practice. It's about taking small steps, each time building a little more confidence and emotional strength, until you are able to face even the greatest challenges with unwavering resolve. One of the most powerful ways to shift your mindset is by reframing the way you view mistakes. Rather than seeing them as failures, view them as experiments. This shift in perspective allows you to approach situations with a sense of curiosity and openness, rather than fear and judgment. Mistakes become a natural part of trying, testing, and exploring different paths. When you approach challenges with this mindset, you remove the pressure of perfection. You give yourself permission to fail, and in doing so, create an environment where creativity and innovation can thrive. You also need to understand that success isn't always immediate. And that's okay. A growth mindset recognizes that success takes time and that progress is a journey, not a destination. Small, consistent actions are what lead to long-term results. Every time you push through a challenge, even if you don't see immediate success, you're building the foundation for something greater in the future. This mindset allows you to embrace the process, not just the outcome. Finally, shifting your mindset requires patience and practice. It's not something that happens overnight. And it's normal to feel frustration, disappointment, or even self-doubt during the process. But each time you choose to view failure as a lesson rather than a defeat, you strengthen your ability to keep going. Over time, with consistent effort, your mindset will naturally shift, and you will begin to see failure as a powerful tool for growth rather than something to be avoided. By shifting your mindset from one of fear and defeat to one of growth and opportunity, you are setting yourself up for long-term success. You stop fearing failure, and instead, you use it as a springboard to launch yourself toward greater heights. The ability to bounce back from failure depends largely on how you choose to view it. When you approach life with a growth-oriented mindset, you empower yourself to learn, adapt, and ultimately succeed, no matter what challenges you may face. Learning from mistakes is an essential part of personal growth, especially when it comes to bouncing back after failure. Often when we face setbacks, we see them as simply negative outcomes to be avoided or regretted. However, every failure holds within it valuable lessons that can lead to greater success in the future. The ability to learn from mistakes is what separates those who recover from failure and move forward from those who remain stuck in it. To embrace the learning opportunity in failure, we must first develop the ability to reflect, analyze, and take constructive action. When we make mistakes, it is easy to fall into the trap of blaming ourselves or others for what went wrong. This reaction is natural, but it can be counterproductive. Blame doesn't offer any solutions or growth. Instead of assigning blame, we need to shift our focus to the lessons that the mistake can teach us. This mindset allows us to approach failure with curiosity rather than regret, seeking to understand what happened, why it happened, and how we can use that information to make better choices in the future. Failure, when seen as a learning opportunity, becomes an invaluable tool for improvement. Reflection is the first step in learning from mistakes. After experiencing a failure, it's important to take time to step back and honestly assess what went wrong. What were the factors that led to the failure? Were there warning signs that were ignored? Did you lack certain resources, information, or skills? Was there something in your approach that could have been handled differently? This process of self-reflection helps to identify the root causes of failure, giving you insights that are often hidden beneath the surface. Reflection not only helps you understand what happened, but it also gives you clarity on how to avoid similar mistakes in the future. However, reflection alone isn't enough. It's essential to take the next step: analysis. Once you've reflected on what happened, Analyze the situation from different perspectives. This means asking yourself not just what went wrong, but also what went right. Even in failure, there are usually moments where things were working, or where you learned something important. These moments shouldn't be overlooked, as they can offer valuable insights into what you can do differently next time. By analyzing your failures, you begin to recognize patterns in your behavior, decisions, and actions. This allows you to pinpoint areas where you may need to make changes or improvements. Additionally, learning from mistakes means being open to feedback. Sometimes our own reflection and analysis may not give us the full picture, and that's where feedback from others comes in. Whether it's from a mentor, colleague, or friend, feedback offers a perspective that we may not have considered. Constructive criticism, though hard to hear, can be one of the most valuable gifts in the process of learning from failure. It forces us to step outside of our own biases and see things from a different point of view. Accepting feedback with an open mind allows us to identify blind spots that we might have missed on our own. The next important aspect of learning from mistakes is making the necessary adjustments. After reflection, analysis, and feedback, it's time to take action. This is where many people get stuck. It's easy to get bogged down in the emotions of failure. But true learning comes when we take what we've learned and apply it to future efforts. The mistakes we make should serve as a foundation for growth, not as an anchor that keeps us in the past. By implementing the lessons learned, we can make informed decisions, improve our skills, and approach similar situations with a fresh perspective. One of the most powerful ways to learn from mistakes is by cultivating a mindset of continuous improvement. Instead of seeing failure as a final judgment, view it as an ongoing process of learning and refining your approach. This mindset encourages resilience and persistence. You are not defined by your failures, but by how you respond to them. Each mistake is an opportunity to sharpen your abilities, grow your knowledge, and become more effective in your actions. Over time, as you learn from your mistakes, you'll notice that you begin to make fewer of them, and when challenges arise, you'll be better prepared to face them. Another critical element of learning from mistakes is the willingness to take risks. When we make mistakes, it's natural to feel apprehensive about trying again. However, avoiding risk altogether is a surefire way to stagnate. To grow and evolve, you need to embrace the possibility of failure, knowing that even if you don't succeed right away, you will gain valuable insights that will guide your next steps. The more you take calculated risks, the more opportunities you will have to learn and grow. In the end, the ability to learn from mistakes is one of the most empowering skills you can develop. When you approach failure with the mindset that it's a stepping stone to greater success, you no longer fear it. Instead, you see it as a teacher that is shaping you into a better, wiser, and more resilient person. Mistakes are not something to hide from or regret. They are opportunities for transformation. By reflecting, analyzing, accepting feedback, and making adjustments, you turn each failure into a powerful tool for growth. As you continue to learn from your mistakes, you will find yourself not only bouncing back from failure, but also rising higher than you ever thought possible. Embracing resilience is at the heart of bouncing back after failure. Resilience is the ability to recover from setbacks, adapt to adversity, and continue forward despite challenges. It is the foundation upon which success is built, especially in the face of failure. Many people experience difficulty in bouncing back after they fall, whether it's due to fear, disappointment, or a lack of self-belief. However, building resilience is a skill that anyone can develop. It's not something that is innate in some people and absent in others. It is the product of mindset, choices, and perseverance in the face of hardship. When you face failure, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, discouraged, and even hopeless. You might begin to question your abilities, your decisions, and your worth. But resilience is about recognizing that failure is not the end of the story. It's simply a part of the journey, one that everyone encounters. Resilient people don't let failure define them. Instead, they use it as an opportunity to bounce back stronger, wiser, and more determined. Building resilience requires the willingness to keep going, even when the road ahead seems uncertain or difficult. One of the first steps in developing resilience is accepting that life is full of ups and downs. No one is immune to failure. Everyone faces moments of struggle, loss, or defeat. The difference lies in how we respond to those moments. Resilient people understand that failure is not a reflection of who they are, it is a natural part of the human experience. Instead of resisting or avoiding challenges, they face them head on, knowing that overcoming obstacles is a key part of personal growth. They learn to expect setbacks as part of the process and view them as opportunities to build character and strength. A critical aspect of resilience is learning how to manage emotions during difficult times. When failure hits, it's normal to feel frustrated, sad, or angry. These emotions are valid, but resilient people do not let these emotions take control. They understand that while emotions are a part of the process, they should not dictate their actions. Resilience is about acknowledging your emotions and giving yourself permission to feel, but not allowing those feelings to derail your progress. It's about finding balance between allowing yourself to grieve a setback and picking yourself back up to take the next step. One of the key qualities that resilient people possess is the ability to maintain a sense of purpose even in difficult times. They have a clear vision of what they want to achieve. And this vision drives them forward even when obstacles seem insurmountable. Maintaining this sense of purpose gives them the motivation to keep going no matter what. When you have a deep connection to your goals, even the toughest failures won't make you lose sight of the bigger picture. Resilient individuals are driven by a sense of meaning and mission, and they understand that challenges are simply part of the road to achieving their dreams. Another important aspect of building resilience is developing problem-solving skills. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and often success requires the ability to find creative solutions in the face of adversity. Resilient individuals are flexible and resourceful. They don't let obstacles stop them. Instead, they look for alternative paths to reach their goals. When they encounter a roadblock, they ask themselves, what can I do differently? What resources or strategies can I use to move forward? This ability to problem solve in difficult situations is a vital part of resilience. It's the ability to adapt and stay proactive, even when things don't go as expected. Moreover, resilient people understand the importance of self-compassion. It's easy to be harsh on ourselves after a failure, blaming ourselves for what went wrong or beating ourselves up over mistakes. However, resilience is about treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially when things don't go as planned. Resilient people are able to bounce back not because they are perfect, but because they give themselves permission to fail without judgment. They practice self-compassion by accepting that mistakes are part of the process and that they are not defined by their failures. They use failures as an opportunity to learn and grow rather than a reason to criticize themselves. Support networks also play a significant role in building resilience. Surrounding yourself with positive, supportive individuals can make a world of difference when you are facing setbacks. Resilient people tend to lean on their support systems during challenging times, whether it's family, friends, or mentors. These people offer encouragement, advice, and perspective that help individuals stay focused and motivated. Knowing that you have people who believe in you and are rooting for your success gives you the strength to keep going when things get tough. Lastly, resilient individuals understand the importance of maintaining hope. When you experience failure, it's easy to feel like success is out of reach, that you'll never recover, or that things will never improve. However, hope is a powerful tool that keeps you going. Resilient people don't let temporary setbacks cloud their belief in the future. They hold on to the belief that no matter how difficult the present may be, there is always a way forward. Hope fuels perseverance, and with hope comes the determination to continue working towards your goals, no matter how long it takes. In conclusion, resilience is the key to overcoming failure and bouncing back stronger than before. It is not about avoiding failure, but about developing the mindset and tools to recover, learn, and grow from it. By accepting setbacks as part of the journey, managing emotions, staying connected to your purpose, and maintaining hope, you can build the resilience necessary to face any challenge. The ability to bounce back from failure doesn't come from avoiding difficulties, but from your willingness to rise after each fall with renewed strength and determination to keep moving forward. Resilience is what allows you to turn failure into fuel for future success.